Hey, hello everybody. Dr. Kam Yuen. Is food our number one support for your health? Everyone thinks so, but it doesn't mean that it's true. So if you have your perception and insight, food is crucial, but it's not number one. So when your insight and intuition, you could process that, and you could find food is actually, for the general population, is like number 20. That means you have 19 things in front of food that would actually weaken your health or destroy your health, or maybe even fatal in your life. So it could kill you before food or bad food would kill you. So let's look at food in a different light, and not just using the common acceptance that food is number one. Yes, we are what we eat, but there are 19 other things in front of that have an effect on who you are. So definitely, let's say number one, right? Number one would be our minds. We think our mind is there to support us, but that is number one. So using your intuition and insight, your mind is actually more damaging to your well-being than whether you eat good food or not, or having the right nutrients or not. So let's ensure the mind, when it's positive, not positive, negative, not negative, you want to be totally neutral with your mind, that your mind does not affect you. Your mind is going to be there for you in expressing yourself verbally. That's what the mind is good in doing, and it's probably good in supporting you in debates and arguments. So, but when you acquire immediate results, there should be less arguments and debate, right? So it's about the result that counts, and we all could acquire the results for ourselves and for others. And it's time for us to actually move in that direction of having results or having answers to our questions immediately, not like having questions answered with questions. So it's really, again, it's back to the intuition, insight. Of course, it would be the feeling and perception. So we've been so far removed from our feelings, we don't know what is strong, what is weak for us. So when something is strong for us, then it's okay, it's supporting us. And what it would be weak for us, we want to actually put in a proper order or weaknesses. It would actually strengthen itself, so there's no need for it to be healed or doing a lot of curing of things, looking for cure for anything. There's no need for prolonged treatment, and a person would recover from their condition. So chronic condition would be easily recover. In fact, it would be a lot easier than acute. When it's acute, the person's mind have to be adjusted more than someone who has this condition that's chronic. So of course, we have a lot of smart experts say that chronic condition is harder to improve, but it's not. It's just the opposite. So if you give me the time to show you that, I could show you that on the radio show, I could show you that on TV, and I could show you that live. So this is not an infomercial, and I didn't pay for anyone to say they got better, and use that to convince people. I'm not using any celebrity to say that they got better, even though they do get better, and I do not want to use them unless I'm willing to pay for their not so much endorsement for their experience. So many celebrities, they want to present themselves like they don't have any problems to the world. And that's their downfall. If they would just improve or receive the improvement and willing to share the improvement with others so they could improve, not so much to drum up business with forced endorsement or testimonies. So when they improve others, they improve themselves. So that's pretty much the first rule. If you want to improve your family members, you will improve yourself more than just improving yourself. Oh, that sounds kind of funny. And when you improve others, like when you have influence of others and you improve them, you will also improve, and you have quality of life, and you can also extend your longevity. There'll be no question about doing something that leads to your fatality. So again, back to food. If you have a weakness to food, you can have a list of good food. That list is not going to do you any good, actually make you worse. So food is not go by someone who say so, who act like a food expert, if there's such a thing, right? Or a nutritional expert. Now, what makes them an expert? Expertise should follow with immediate improvement and results. Otherwise, it's just a debate, or like they say, it's BS, well, without results. So I don't mind BSing. It's usually, I shouldn't say usually, it's followed by results. If I'm BSing like everybody else, which everybody thinks that I am, but I have immediate results that follows it. And anyone could do this sooner than you think. When people are open to themselves, everyone would resolve more so their problem instead of having more problems. And everyone will answer their own question without having questions that never got answered. So to the Chinese language, questions are problems, problems are questions. So when you have a lot of questions and question on top of questions, and you know that a lot of scientists, I shouldn't say a lot of scientists, there are scientists that do research and studies, and they will give you the answer that now they have more questions than answers than before. Well, which is not a good approach. In fact, it makes the condition worse. When you have more questions, that means your problem is more intense. And when you want to resolve problems, you want to be able to simplify the problem into questions and line up your question in the proper order, which means the weakest one first, so on. And it resolves itself. You don't have to put any energy and effort behind it, and you don't even need to verbalize it. The other person on the receiving end, or you is projecting the improvement to that person, you don't even have to know them. There could be family members of the person you're talking to, and you don't even have to talk to that person either, okay? So that physical intelligence of our central nervous system would lead us to connect with each other without invading someone's privacy. So it's really the mind that have things that held on to a secret and jealously guarded and secretively not letting anyone know. In fact, the person who have the secret don't even know what the secret would be. Otherwise, it would not be a secret. So when we benefit others quickly in terms of their wellness, not just health, everyone speak about health and wellness as is one and the same. Well, health is one aspect or one component of wellness. So you have health, and health is not number one. So we've been misled that at all costs health is number one, just like food is number one. Now, food is not number one. Now, health is actually, when it comes to wellness, is actually the last of the wellness components, and it's been redefined to have 6 components of that constitute wellness. So health, we could put that first on the list, but it doesn't mean that it is number one, as people put food as first on the list. So wellness consists of health, fitness, relationship, money / finances. When they say slash, that means they go together. Money / finances, and purpose / career. And with career, you could slash education, and also entrepreneurship and employment. So that's 5 components of the pentagon of that career and purpose. Start with career and purpose, and also time. So you want to get to the point where you don't just use your mind to try to manage time and slow things down and all that. Time is, you could have mastery over time. That's what you want to do, to have mastery over food. That you're not going to have reactions or emotions or having negative sensation. When I say sensation, it means pain and discomfort, so forth. So again, let's finish wellness. So the 6th component of wellness, I start with time, and that's less aging. So you want to have less aging. You don't want to have anti-aging. Anytime that's anti-something, there's some negative energy that goes with it, even though it's so commonly used that it's accepted as a leading description. It's anti-aging. You want to have anti-energy to aging, and that extra energy, anti is negative to begin with, and actually make it difficult to acquire or put yourself in a position of having less aging. And also time affects aging, and aging affects time and make you use with your mind perceiving yourself, not even perceiving, just misinterpret that you're getting older and you're running out of time, right? So that's kind of pretty common for people to be in that place. So again, back to food, you want to be strong to food, that it doesn't really matter what you eat. Of course, you could be selective with your central nervous system. Your central nervous system would inform you, don't inform you in words, of course. It would make that particular food is just not right for you, and your central nervous system would tell you that. Not some expert using the reading of some other experts and quote them to say, well, that is the list of food that is good, and that's the list of bad food, and how food is prepared is bad. So we get to the point where we get so paranoid about food, and that's the mind. You could not get paranoid about food if your mind is not totally master your life. Right? You want your physical intelligence, which is your central nervous system, to have mastery of your body, your physical surroundings, or essentially everything in the world. You want to have mastery over it and expertise, and you want to be able to take charge of it. So of course you take charge first, and you become expert and gain mastery. That is all self improvement. That you are not get in the way of other people's life. That you're not going to tell them what to do without having immediate result that follows, right? And they should ask you to tell them consciously what they should connect with in themselves. So the answer comes from everyone anyway. So the answer doesn't come from experts that have exclusive answer to your question or resolution to your problem. And they don't. The experts do not have immediate results that follows. If what if they say it doesn't improve you or improve the person they saying it to, or having immediate result, then that advice is not exactly what it is. It's not truthful. So of course we hear the common statement that the truth shall set you free, and it is true. The truth shall always set you free, but none of us, or most of us, do not know what the truth is to that particular situation or particular question that we have. And when we connect with the truth will actually resolve the problem. And you don't have to work at it. Right? You don't have to overcome anything using your mind to discipline yourself so you could withstand the situation. And that's what movies are made. You have to overcome your adversity. You want to live your life, you don't have any adversity. All your questions could be answered by your internal physical intelligence yourself, right? By becoming more of an expert with your feeling, perception, intuition, that forms your insight, that you improve your telepathic communication with yourself, with every part of your body, that give you the self-awareness, again, to strengthen your physical intelligence. So you have this physical knowing totally of your own body. Now, who knows your body more than your own physical intelligence? Not someone else try to sell you something. Right? So your physical intelligence will know through computer language that whether you're 1 or 0 or bunch of ones and bunch of zeros in whatever question that bring forth to your presence. So we are not leading effect, or essentially the leading effect of our well-being is not the primitive chemical factory in our body. So we've been considered ourselves of making up for primitive chemical factories. And even if we are chemical factories inside of us, there's still a need to be computerized to regulate it, right? We could regulate the biochemistry of our body by our computer, not by eyeballing it by someone else that take a lab test to tell you the value is off. Well, the value that's off, it could be temporary off. It comes and goes. I mean, your reading could be not always constant. And of course, the expert that you pay or hire, their mental effect could change your lab values, right? Because their mind is so strong in looking for a abnormal or a bunch of abnormal lab values. They're actually strong enough to change it for you, or the institution they belong in, or the organization they belong in, that actually will change your normal values to be abnormal. Okay, so it's about your feeling, perception, intuition that actually tell you if you're in good health or the rest of the wellness components. So it's not something to make a false statement or misinterpretation that health is number one. By doing so, health is actually difficult for people to achieve when that's the wrong answer. So again, to remind you, the right answer resolves the problem. The wrong answer it's not so much it doesn't resolve the problem, it actually makes the problem worse. So there were times that when we think we have the wrong answer, well, at least we attempt to give it all the answers that could possibly have for that condition, and constantly giving the answer that does not lead to immediate results. And when it doesn't lead to immediate result, it actually makes the condition worse for the person. So essentially, of course, I don't want to seem like I'm attacking anyone here. When you have a diagnosis, and the diagnosis does not improve the situation, of course, a person will say, well, I'm improved mentally because I know what my problem is by the diagnosis. But the diagnosis really totally misdiagnosed, right? At one time, I thought diagnosis, some of the time is right. There was a time that the medical profession, by their own admission, the diagnosis is only 30% correct. Now, that's pretty good if you play baseball. You'd be batting over 300. Well, for your life, you should be 100% consistent. Now, what's so impossible by being 100%, right? So it's like you hit those keys on your computer. Well, you can be 100% consistent, or the response you're going to receive from that laptop or the desktop computer. And likewise, you do to your phone. You want to be able to strike a key, the right key, and you get the response that you expect to have, right? The response is not like, okay, now there's going to be delay. You want to respond, you have to wait a day for it, or an hour for it, or 2 weeks for it. Now, any ailment a person have, there should be an improvement when the answer fits to that ailment. So the ailment is just a problem, right? Or a bunch of questions associated with that particular ailment. So, and you don't want to have your mind to fool you and say, well, I got the answer that sounds right, but I didn't improve, but mentally I improved. So yes, you could improve yourself mentally, and it could translate into improvement physically. But you could improve physically and not totally rely on your mind, right? So your mind constantly will tell you these are the bad food, these are the good food, and coming from someone else's mind, that is not reliable. Your mind have no reliability because your mind has like countless choices, and it doesn't know which choice it is. Depends on its mood, depends on its emotions, and other people's mental thinking and other people's emotion that make you give the answer that's different in different times, right? So, again, let's say the mind. Your mind have so many choices, it doesn't know which is the right choice. And if it's the right choice, it's by accident, right? But you could say, well, you could give it an educated guess. But actually, educated guess have so many choices, it's worse than to be ignorant. So the ignorant guess, you will have less choices to get to the right answer, right? When you're educated, well, you have so many answers. You'd be more confused than someone only have a handful of answers. So when you get back to your computer, central nervous system, or central intelligence, and physical intelligence, so they're all pretty much the same. And you only have two choices. In the computer, there's only two choices. You only have 1 and 0, right? That's why the discovery of yin and yang was so profound when people know how to use it. Yin and yang is like 1 and 0. It's a principle to be used, and it's not like a theories of yin and yang. The people still think yin and yang, which is ridiculous anyways. It's simple. It is simple. You want to simplify a complicated problem, and so that's how you resolve it. You want to simplify the question So it doesn't come in paragraphs, it comes in bits of information. It's just like your computer. Your computer do not want you to ask a question in paragraphs. It's the shortest way of expressing the situation that you actually resolve it yourself. Right? So, and go back to the central nervous system again. The central nervous system give you 1 or 0. There's only 2 choices. That means 50% you will have the right answer. Even if you got the wrong answer, it would let you know by having no immediate result. Then you use the opposite of the answer you initially used. And that would, in many cases, that will actually would be the right answer, but it not necessarily be the right answer because the question could be totally wrong, right? A person asks the question that have so much information and so much mental input or influences, that question is not a reliable question. So if you simplify the question, your central nervous system would have the 2 choices. It has 50-50 chance of getting the right answer for you. If the question is right, without the mental or spiritual influences to your question should be strictly a physical related question. So again, come back to food. I know I'm putting too many things here to confuse the situation here, right? So yeah, I'm giving you actually more input that I should just stuck with food, right? Now food, to remind you, is like number 20. It's not number 1. To consider food as number 1, and eating the wrong food would make you sick or shorten your life. It's there's no truth to that to make the condition worse. So the wrong answer or the misinformation actually make your health weaker and make your life longevity to be shorter, right? So essentially, it kind of give you a weaker input of your quality of life, right? So your quality of life depends on you, not what someone tells you what the quality of life would be, right? You are in charge of your own quality of life, right? So you can eat bad food. If you're strong to it, it will not have an adverse effect on you. You eat good food and it weakens, or you have a basic weakness to that food, it will actually do you ill or do damage to you, right? So it's the weakness that would do damage for you. But if you allow your internal computer, it would adjust that for you. But if you leave it to your mind would bring up other questions and things that have to research and study. And so the answers that you receive from your mind is, as I said earlier, is not reliable, is not consistent. Well, the reliability and consistency go together. So there are answers, or could be even expert or scientific answer that you receive at a certain time, and maybe 50 years ago, that then they say, well, that doesn't seem to be right anymore, right? So because it was the wrong answer to begin with, I finally came to a realization that that is the wrong answer, and by knowing the wrong answer doesn't change that much. It does change some, but you have to delete the cumulative effect or all the wrong answer you have been receiving in your life. So the cumulative effect is different for each individual. So there's a lot of things going on here, and that's how life is, right? Life is everything and anything, not like a 3 set of rules that you follow. Like eating right, it's like watch what you eat and be paranoid about what you eat. That's you know, that's not a good approach.